The 2015-2016 NHL season is here. Well, almost. It's almost here. I bet you're excited. I bet you're optimistic. Because this is the time of year for optimism. Nobody has lost a game yet. Even the Leafs. Right now, everybody has an equal chance at winning the Stanley Cup. So with that optimism in mind, I had a video idea. I think you're gonna like it. Here's how your favorite NHL team is going to disappoint you this season. We'll start with the Edmonton Oilers. So much optimism at Edmonton, and why not? They got Connor McDavid probably gonna win the rookie scoring race. The disappointment is gonna be when he scores under 200 points this season and the Oilers still miss the playoffs. A guy on Twitter named PetBugs13 has a running tally of how long it's been since Vancouver GM Jim Benning has done something stupid. Right now, it's at 60 days. The disappointing part is going to be when it goes back to zero. Calgary Flames fans have plenty to be optimistic about after an amazing offseason getting Dougie Hamilton. The disappointment is going to be when Brian Burke decides to cut his hair and tie his tie. The Winnipeg Jets are going to get the exact same amount of playoff wins they did last season, except this time it'll be because they didn't make the playoffs at all. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I mean, how long do you want me to make this video, guys? I got all season. Sens fans are going to be disappointed when Andrew Haymond's stats return back to earth and they have to change his name from the Hamburglar to In-N-Out Burger. And for the Montreal Canadiens, Subban's going to have to go back onto the ice instead of spending time what he should be doing, Don Cherry impressions. Bummer for Habs fans and Bruins fans, there won't be any Milan Lucic nonsense in the Winter Classic this year. And just when you thought that was going to spice up the Kings-Sharks rivalry, the Sharks got rid of John Scott. Instead, the Arizona Coyotes now have John Scott, and they're definitely going to finish last. But their fans won't be disappointed with that. I mean, they expect to be pretty bad this season. No, the disappointment's going to come when they don't win the draft lottery and they lose Austin Matthews. Or they do win and he just decides, nah, I'm just going to stay in Switzerland. But let's talk about favorites. It seems the two unanimous favorites for the Stanley Cup final are the Anaheim Ducks out of the West and the Tampa Bay Lightning out of the East. Which means if those two teams do anything but win the Cup, it'll be a disappointment. But at least for the Ducks, their core players will stay with the Ducks. As for the Lightning, well, I mean, Stamkos will still be wearing blue and white, right? Next on our list of how teams are going to disappoint you, we have the Chicago Blackhawks. They already have. For the Colorado Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon has to leave his dream job of working at a Tim Hortons and instead return to being an NHL player. Sidney Crosby also has to ditch his dream job of working at a Tim Hortons and instead has to do his second job of being the next Tyler Bozak. The New York Islanders, they'll actually be pretty good. The disappointment is because of the way the arena was built, fans won't be able to see it! The Rangers are going to take a bit of a dip when they discover that all their skill was actually in Henrik Lundqvist's hair and the NHL's most beautiful man starts going bald. And for Detroit, you're actually going to discover that all of Pavel Datsyuk's magical powers were stored in Mike Babcock's scowl. For the Panthers, Jaromir Jagr has pledged to grow his mullet again. The disappointment is going to come when one of his teammates discovers that it's actually a fake wig. That teammate will then try to blackmail Jagr by threatening to post pictures of his wig online, but Jagr will tell him he doesn't care. The St. Louis Blues are always good, but just not good enough. And they're going to be super upset when they discover the one missing piece in their lineup ends up being that 6th round pick they traded to the Leafs for Olli Jokinen. For the Capitals, Alex Ovechkin will score his 500th goal this season, only to be told by the media that he has to score 500 goals as a right winger and a left winger in order for it to count. For the Sabres, Jack Eichel will finish second in the rookie scoring race, which is pretty good, but Tim Murray will still be grumpy he didn't get first. The Philadelphia Flyers will actually find a place to trade Andrew McDonald. The disappointment is they have to take David Clarkson off of Columbus, leaving Columbus's water bottles completely vulnerable. With the Nashville Predators gearing up to host the 2016 NHL All-Star Game, Shea Weber is going to take a slap shot, it's going to get deflected, and knock down the Jumbotron, destroying Bridgestone Arena, which means no performance from Carrie Underwood. And then the All-Star Game is going to have to be hosted by the Carolina Hurricanes, who are going to provide special musical guest Christopher Steeg. For Halloween, Minnesota Wild goalie Devin Dubnyk is going to go as Edmonton Oilers Devin Dubnyk and forget how to take his costume off. For the Devils, Corey Schneider says he wants to play all 82 games, which is cute until he gets hurt and you have to Google who the backup goalie is. And for the Dallas Stars, Tyler Seguin will end up winning the Art Ross Trophy as the NHL's leading scorer, but he's going to accept his award wearing nothing but a rubber duck. Actually, I'll let you decide whether you think that's disappointing or not. So in the season of eternal optimism, what do you think is going to be a disappointment this season? I think this video was a disappointment. Oh, I beat you to it, commenters. What?